On the morning of August 14th, 2023, 64-year-old Andreas Probst was doing something he had done countless times before, riding his bicycle near his home in Las Vegas. What he could not see was the stolen car approaching him from behind.
Ready? Yeah. Hit his ass.
Inside were 17-year-old Jesus Ayala and 16-year-old Jasamir Keys. Ayala was driving while Keys held the camera. And before they reached Andreas, the two teenagers had already decided that the stranger cycling ahead of them would become their next target.
Bump him. Right. Let me move in. Bitch ass nigga! Stop talking shit, bitch! Stop talking shit! Nigga! Fuck wrong with bud? Ready? Yeah. Hit his ass. Hell no, that nigga knocked out. Shit, we need to get out of here.
The owner of this Apple Watch has taken a hard call and is not responding to their...
What makes the recording even more difficult to watch is how casual the boys sound. They talk about hitting Andreas as if they are discussing a joke, steer the car directly toward him, and continue recording after the impact. Andreas had spent around 35 years working in law enforcement and had once served as police chief in Bell, California. After retiring, he moved to Las Vegas, where morning bike rides had become part of his normal routine. But to the teenagers inside that car, none of that mattered. They did not see a husband, a father, or a man with an entire life behind him. They saw a stranger they believed they could hurt for entertainment. The impact triggered an emergency alert through Andreas's Apple Watch. Paramedics reached him and rushed him to the hospital, but his injuries were too severe. He was pronounced dead shortly afterward. The video the teenagers had created for their own amusement quickly became one of the most important pieces of evidence against them. Ayala was arrested within hours, while Keys was identified and taken into custody soon afterward. Their behavior following the arrest only created more anger.
Is it really that serious?
Yeah, it is.
I'll be on like 30 days. Oh, bitch.
You might be out of juvie in 30 days and moved over to an adult jail. Because that's how bad it is.
It's just a eat and run, slap on the wrist.
While sitting inside a patrol car, Ayala appeared convinced that his age would protect him and that he would receive little more than a minor punishment. The two teenagers even appeared to laugh during an early court appearance. In October 2025, both men pleaded guilty to second-degree murder with the use of a deadly weapon. And on December 16, 2025, Ayala was sentenced to 20 years to life in prison. Keys received 18 years to life. These were the maximum sentences the court could impose because both of them had been juveniles when the murder took place. The recording they made because they thought Andreas's death was entertaining ultimately became the evidence that would follow them into court. And although both men may eventually become eligible for parole, the ordinary morning they stole from Andreas Probst can never be returned to the family who watched two strangers turn his final bike ride into something permanent. But while Andreas never saw the camera recording behind him, the next person knew an audience was watching every second and continued live streaming even as police closed in.
Hey, tell him to bail me out! Hey sis, I'm sorry, I love you though. You know I had to. Fuck you! Shit.
On May 6, 2020, 21-year-old Dreasjon Reed, also known as Sean, was driving through Indianapolis when police spotted him traveling at close to 90 miles per hour. But when officers attempted to pull him over, Reed refused to stop. Instead, he opened Facebook Live and began broadcasting the entire chase to everyone watching from his account.
I feel bad for a nigga because I'm not stopping. I feel bad. Bail me out. Bail me out, goddamn. Yeah, bail me out. I feel bad. Hey, tell him to bail me out. Tell him to bail me out. It's the funniest shit I did all day. Yeah, I'm so... Ain't no compromising. I can't stop you. I know I got that shit on me. Hey, but look. Hey, if y'all want to bail me out, you feel me? I got about 2 bands, you feel me? And then, you feel me, whatever y'all put with the shit, you feel me? Oh, this is fun though. But like, man, I can't go back to jail, y'all. Y'all know, everybody know me, I do not like jail. So you feel me? But back to my music talking, you feel me? Hey sis, I'm sorry, I love you though. You know I had to.
For several minutes, Reed spoke to the viewers as though the situation was still under his control. He joked about the chase, asked people to help pay his bail, and repeatedly explained that he could not go back to jail. Some viewers tried to convince him to surrender. Others treated the chase like entertainment and promised to help him if he was arrested. But behind the confidence, there were moments when Reed appeared to understand how badly the situation could end. He apologized to his sister and told his mother that he loved her. Even then, he continued driving.
I love this. Come on. Come on, baby. Yeah, come on, baby. Yeah. Come on, baby. Yeah. Fuck with a real nigga. Who y'all fucking with? I'm my mama, you not me, bitch. Come on, baby. Fuck with a real nigga when it comes to this shit. Bitch. You gotta do better if you gonna go. I'm not going to jail easy, baby. I'm my mama. I love you, mama. I'm so sorry I put you through this.
Eventually, Reed abandoned his vehicle in a residential area and attempted to escape on foot. Before running, he told the live stream where he had left the car and repeatedly begged someone to come and collect him. Only seconds earlier, he had sounded confident that the police would never catch him. But Officer DeJour Mercer was already close behind.
Uh-oh, did I lose his ass? Oh yeah! You're not gonna catch me, I'll go! Oh yeah! I'm not going to jail today, no sir! I'm finna park this motherfucker at 8 on 62nd in Michigan. Somebody come get my stupid ass. Please come get me. Please come get me. Please go get me. I'm on 62nd in Michigan. I just parked this motherfucker, I'm gone. Please come get me. Fuck you! Shit!
What happened during the final confrontation has remained heavily disputed. Police said Reed fired a weapon at Mercer, causing the officer to return fire. Mercer shot Reed 13 times, killing him at the scene. Investigators later said that a handgun was recovered nearby. Reed's family challenged parts of that account and argued that the officer had used excessive force. The shooting caused protests throughout Indianapolis, but a grand jury eventually declined to bring criminal charges against Mercer. In 2023, the city and police department agreed to pay Reed's mother $390,000 to settle her wrongful death lawsuit. The agreement did not include an admission of wrongdoing. But regardless of which version people believe, the livestream captured something neither Reed nor the people encouraging him appeared to understand until it was too late. They watched the chase as though it were content. Reed treated arrest as the worst possible ending, and by the time the stream finally stopped, there was no longer anyone left to bail out. And that takes us to the next live stream that no one should have ever seen.
Take one for the team, yo, I swear to God.
On February 13th, 2019, deputies from the Orange County Sheriff's Office rushed to an apartment complex in Windermere, Florida, after receiving several calls about a disturbing confrontation unfolding on Instagram Live. The man behind the broadcast was 23-year-old LaForest Duron Gray Jr., who was allegedly assaulting his wife in the parking area. A witness later told investigators that the woman had attempted to escape by getting into his vehicle, but Gray pulled her back out and dragged her toward an open garage. Even after officers arrived, Gray continued live streaming. Rather than surrendering or releasing his wife, he remained behind a yellow Chevrolet Camaro while armed deputies surrounded the garage and repeatedly ordered him to show his hands. Gray held his phone in one hand and continued addressing the people watching online, while officers struggled to see what he was holding in the other.
No, they're not. She just told you she's fine. These is crazy, bro. Really finna turn up on this, bro. Y'all finna see this live, bro. Straight up, y'all finna see this live, bro. I'll take one for the team, yo. I swear to God. I swear to God. What's up? What's up? Come here. Come here. Come here. Rachel, come here. Rachel, come here. Get your hands off of her, nigga. Get your fucking hands off. Get your hands off of her. Get your hands off. Get your fucking hands off. Rachel, come here. Rachel, come here. Rachel, come here. Everybody good? Everybody good?
According to investigators, he eventually raised a silver handgun and fired toward the deputies. The officers immediately returned fire, turning the parking area into the scene of a sudden gun battle that was still being broadcast online. Remarkably, despite the number of shots fired, Gray, his wife, and all 3 deputies escaped without being struck. Gray still refused to surrender after the shooting stopped, forcing officers to deploy a police dog approximately 15 minutes later. He was then pulled from the garage and taken into custody. Gray later claimed that the confrontation between him and his wife had been part of an elaborate role-playing performance for their online audience. However, prosecutors used the Instagram live stream, police body camera footage, witness statements, and the recovered handgun to show that the danger had been real. A jury convicted him of multiple offenses, including attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer, kidnapping, burglary, aggravated assault, and resisting an officer. He was ultimately sentenced to life in prison. Gray may have continued broadcasting because he believed the live stream would protect him or allow him to control how the confrontation appeared to viewers. Instead, the footage recorded the entire escalation and became some of the strongest evidence used against him in court. And that takes us to a live stream that became impossible to stop. Before a single shot was fired, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz had already recorded himself explaining exactly what he intended to do. He named the school, described his goal, and spoke as though the attack would finally force the world to remember him.
The day of my massacre shall begin. All the kids in school will run in fear and hide. You're all going to die.
Here's me shots fired.
Cruz was a former student of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. He had been expelled the previous year following a long history of disciplinary problems and alarming behavior. In the months that followed, Cruz purchased an AR-15, collected ammunition, and began recording a series of private videos in which he described his plans for an attack on his former school. He did not speak with fear or uncertainty. Instead, Cruz presented himself like the main character in a story he had created inside his own mind, predicting that people would soon see his face on the news and finally know his name.
Hello, my name is Nick, and I'm going to be the next school shooter of 2018. My goal is at least 20 people with an AR-15 and a couple tracer rounds. I think I can get done. Location is Stoneman Douglas in Parkland, Florida. It's going to be a big event. And when you see me on the news, you'll all know who I am. You're all going to die. Pew, 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 pew.
On February 14th, 2018, Cruz recorded another message shortly before traveling to the school. By that point, the threatening monologues were no longer fantasies. He had packed the rifle and several loaded magazines into a bag before taking an Uber to the campus. In the final recording, Cruz explained that the day he had been talking about had finally arrived. He imagined students fleeing from him and described the power he believed the weapon would give him. Without it, he was simply a disturbed former student standing alone in front of a phone. But with the rifle in his hands, Cruz believed he was about to become someone the entire world would fear.
Today is the day that it all begins. The day of my massacre shall begin. All the kids in school will run in fear and hide. From the wrath of my power, they will know who I am. I hate everyone and everything. With the power of my AR, you will all know who I am. I had enough of being told what to do and when to do. I had enough of telling me that I'm an idiot and a dumbass. But in real life, you're all the dumbass. You're all stupid and brainwashed by these political government programs. You will all see, you will all know who my name is. Alright, so here's the plan. I'm gonna go take an Uber in the afternoon before 2:40. From there, I'll go into the school campus, walk up the stairs, unload my bags, and get my AR and shoot people down at the main courtyard. I'll wait, and people will die.
After reaching the school, Cruz entered one of the buildings, removed the rifle from his bag, and opened fire in the hallways and classrooms. Students who had been going through an ordinary school day were suddenly forced to hide beneath desks, inside closets, and behind locked doors. Some called their parents. Others contacted emergency services or recorded what they believed could be their final moments as gunfire moved through the building.
He's over there. Oh my God!
911, what is your emergency?
Yes, I just got a call from Douglas High School. They came online by when they believe there's a shooter at the school.
If possible, could be fire because I think we got shot fired. Possible shot fired. 1200 Julia 30, make sure we get some units over here. I need to shut down Stone Douglas. Appears to be shots fired. I'm over on the south side, over by 700 building. Tango, so I'm shutting down eastbound Holmberg at the divide between Blaze and the high school. 17 Bravo 1, I'll get the west side of Stoneman on Holmberg.
Step 4, west side of Holmberg.
Cruz killed 17 people, 14 students and 3 members of staff, and wounded 17 others. After the attack, he abandoned his rifle and tactical vest, then left the building while blending in with students escaping the campus. While families desperately searched for information about their children, Cruz walked to a nearby Walmart and later entered a Subway restaurant, where he bought a drink. He was arrested roughly an hour after leaving the school.
What's going on? What's going on today, bro?
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Yeah, no problem.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What the f***? Where the f*** am I? Holy shit. What happened?
Shut up.
Just be quiet, man.
Shut up.
During questioning, Cruz attempted to blame voices and demons for what he had done, but the recordings made before the attack showed planning, preparation, and a clear understanding of what he intended to carry out. Cruz eventually pleaded guilty to 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder. Prosecutors sought the death penalty, but the jury did not unanimously recommend it. In 2022, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The videos Cruz created were intended to make him appear powerful. Instead, they preserved the image of someone rehearsing for attention while planning to destroy the lives of people who had done nothing to him. He wanted the world to remember his name. But the names that deserve to be remembered are those of the 17 people who never returned home. But if you thought it couldn't get any worse, the next live stream proves otherwise.
He doesn't have a gun. He has a TBI. He's not going to do anything to you guys. He just took his medicine. Kate, don't you do it. Don't you do it.
On September 20th, 2016, undercover officers were watching an apartment complex in Charlotte, North Carolina, while searching for a completely unrelated fugitive. During that surveillance, they noticed 43-year-old Keith Lamont Scott sitting inside his SUV. According to police, Scott was rolling a marijuana blunt and holding a handgun. The officers briefly moved away, put on tactical vests that clearly identified them as police, and returned to confront him. Nearby, Keith's wife, Rakeya, saw the armed officers surrounding her husband's vehicle and immediately began recording on her phone.
Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. He has no weapon. He has no weapon. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. He didn't do anything. He doesn't have a gun. He has a TBI. He's not going to do anything to you guys. He just took his medicine. Keith, don't let them break the windows. Come on out the car. Keith, don't do it. Keith, get out the car. Keith, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Keith, don't you do it.
The footage captures two completely different understandings of what is happening. The officers repeatedly order Keith to drop a gun. At the same time, Rakeya insists that her husband is unarmed and warns them that he has a traumatic brain injury, which can affect how quickly he understands and responds to commands. She tells them that he has just taken his medication, but she is not only pleading with the police. As officers begin breaking the window of the vehicle, Rakeya repeatedly warns her husband, "Keith, don't you do it." Scott eventually steps out of the SUV and slowly moves backward as officers continue shouting at him to drop the weapon. The available video does not clearly show what he is holding or whether he raises anything toward the officers. Seconds later, Officer Brentley Vinson opens fire.
Did you shoot him? Did you shoot him? Did you shoot him? He better not be dead. He better not be dead. I know that much. I know that much. He better not be dead. I'm not gonna come near you. I'm gonna record though. I'm not coming near you. I'm gonna record though. He better be alive because I'm coming. You better be alive. How about that? Yes, we're over here at 9453 Lexington Court. These are the police officers that shot my husband, and he better live. He better live. Because he didn't do nothing to them. He good. Ain't nobody touch nobody, so they all good. I know he better live. I know he better live. How about that? I'm not coming to you guys, but he better live. He better live. Y'all hear this and you see this, right? He better live. He better live. I swear he better live. Yep. He better live. Live, and I can't even leave the damn... I ain't going nowhere. I'm in the same spot.
Keith is struck 4 times and collapses onto the ground. Rakeya is ordered to remain where she is, leaving her unable to approach her husband or see how badly he has been injured. She gave the viewers their location, identified the officers, and told everyone watching that her husband had done nothing to hurt them. But Keith did not survive. He was transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Investigators later said a loaded handgun was recovered near his body, along with an ankle holster. Forensic testing found Keith's fingerprints and DNA on the weapon. The district attorney concluded that Vinson had reasonably believed Keith was about to use deadly force and declined to file criminal charges. Keith's family continued to argue that he never threatened the officers and that they had escalated an encounter that could have ended peacefully. They later filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Vincent and the city. But in 2022, an appeals court ruled that Vincent was protected by public official immunity. The recording never completely resolved the argument over what Keith was doing in the seconds before he was shot. Instead, it preserved something far more personal. A wife standing only a short distance from her husband, repeating that he had to survive, while the people who later watched the footage already knew that he never would. And that takes us to the final live stream, one that is harder to forget because the tragedy did not happen without warning. Thousands of viewers watched it approaching in real time, while two armed teenagers repeatedly delayed the one decision that might still have saved them.
Бонни и Клайд, нахуй.
Отводить охуенно.
For hours, thousands of people watched two 15-year-olds speak into a camera while armed police surrounded the house around them. Some viewers attempted to convince them to surrender. But with every new live stream, Denis Muravyov and Katerina Vlasova appeared to move further away from any peaceful ending. On November 14, 2016, Russian police located the two missing teenagers inside a house belonging to Katerina's stepfather in Strugi Krasny. Denis and Katerina had run away from home 3 days earlier following conflict with their families. Inside the house, however, they had discovered a safe containing several firearms. When Katerina's mother arrived looking for them, she was wounded. The teenagers then barricaded themselves inside an upstairs room and began live streaming on Periscope.
Там собачка бегает. Можете собаку попасть? А, туда-сюда бегает, короче. Такие патроны тут. Вискарек. Ну, это сишки, винцо, ружье. А, так. Блин, это будет как-то... Не помню, зарядила ли я. Ну, пакетик такой, чтобы, если что, от крови, для трупов. Ребят, надо переставать стрелять. Вопрос такой.
Хотите больше трешака или как?
Мы можем просто выйти и начать стрелять по людям.
Заряжать заебешься, блядь, заломаю нахуй.
О, жесть!
А у тебя добить?
О, е!
Что говорить-то? В общем, люди, последние минуты жизни. Павел отводить охуенно.
When a police vehicle arrived outside, the teenagers opened fire from a window. Police surrounded the property, but initially held their positions and attempted to negotiate. Meanwhile, Denis and Katerina continued broadcasting, speaking to viewers and presenting the standoff as though they had become the main characters in their own story. They called themselves versions of Bonnie and Clyde and Romeo and Juliet. But behind those dramatic comparisons were two frightened teenagers with no realistic escape. Denis's mother was brought to the scene and attempted to persuade them to come outside. At one point, the pair agreed to hand over several weapons and asked the police for more time to consider surrendering. But officers believed they were still armed. As the hours passed, the live streams became increasingly hopeless. The teenagers understood that the house was surrounded and that even if they survived, their lives would never return to normal.
Несколько дней, 3 дня и 3 ночи мы скрывались здесь.
Да. И насколько вас посадят примерно? А мы что знаем?
Если посадят, то посадят примерно на лет 25.
Лет 25. Ну, выйдем такие в 40, получается, такие.
Может, ментов попал. Если попал в ментов, это плюс еще 15 лет где-то.
Бонни и Клайд, нахуй. Нам уже здесь ничего.
В принципе, у ментов должны быть пушки.
Нам такой просто срок впаяют, наверное.
Патон.
Скажем еще пару слов.
Да.
И все.
Всем большое спасибо за поддержку, за время, проведенное с вами. На самом деле было хорошо. Будем скучать безумно. Любим.
Прощай.
After Denis and Katerina requested a final few minutes, a tactical police unit moved toward the room. Both teenagers were found dead before officers reached them. Russian authorities maintained that the tactical officers had not fired during the operation. However, questions and conflicting theories about the precise sequence of their deaths continued to circulate after the footage spread online. What was clear was that the armed confrontation had ended without any police officers being killed. The standoff itself had lasted hours, not 3 days. The teenagers had been missing for 3 days before police found them. That distinction makes the final broadcasts even more unsettling. For several hours, viewers were not watching a completed tragedy or footage discovered afterward. They were watching 2 children make irreversible decisions in real time, while parents, police officers, and strangers online desperately tried, and ultimately failed, to bring them back outside alive. That's all for today, folks. If you like to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.